Welcome back to the Organized Coach podcast. Today I want to tell you a story about a client, a closet, and a 1,000-piece puzzle. Who loves puzzles? I love puzzles. So I was on a call with my client Dana the other day, and we were talking about organizing her client closet. And like so many people do, she started by saying something that we've all said at some point. I just have so much stuff. I want you to think about yourself. Think about if you've ever said that. Maybe you're believing it right now. And I'm going to talk about how a puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle, related to this problem, which everyone has. And this episode may be more powerful than any strategy that I've given you, although there is strategy here. But I want you to think of it and just enjoy this episode because it is so powerful. And I've come back to it so many times since her and I had our appointment. The other thing I want to mention before we get started, and you might not know about this, but in Organized Life Academy for the last 2 years, and this will be the third year, I have a live event that only Organized Life Academy people get an invitation to join. And if you want to be part of that, and you also have organizing your house as part of your strategy or goal in 2026, you would love a live in-person event. I live in Kansas City. The event is in Kansas City, so it's a central location to most people. It's a very down-to-earth, small, connected, just so good. It's been so good the last 2 years. And this year I've started thinking and dreaming and creating what we're going to do at this event. The dates are set. All the information is available. You can register now. But in order to do that, you need to be in Organized Life Academy. So if you want to join that, go to simplysquaredaway.com/OLA and DM me for a special bonus coupon code that you can use to join today. If this is a goal for you and you want support and you want to learn how to get your home and your life organized. Okay, let's get into the 1,000-piece puzzle and how this is going to change your life.
Are you ready to work less, feel more organized and productive, streamline repetitive tasks, and implement systems that allow your coaching business to run smoothly even without you? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Organized Coach Podcast, your go-to source for practical tips and solutions. I'm your host, Tracy Hoth, professional organizer, certified life coach, simplifying expert, and most of all, down-to-earth fellow coach just like you. No matter if you think you're missing the organizing gene, have ADHD, or just love anything organizing, I'm here to help you become an organized coach with a business that works for you. Pull up a seat and let's get started.
I have so much stuff. I have so much to do, so many clothes, so many pieces, so many decisions, so much overwhelm. And I want you to notice something. The moment we say those words, I have so much, our nervous system tightens up. Our brain starts to think, this is too big, too hard, too much. So the very first thing I did with Dana was neutralize the number, neutralize so many things. What does that even mean? I said, okay, let's just say that you have 1,050 pieces of clothing. Not emotional. It's just math. 1,050 pieces. You take one piece at a time. That's it. So it may take longer than you thought. Totally fine. But you know, if you look at 1,050 pieces of clothing, you will have your space organized, right? And suddenly it doesn't feel massive, impossible. There's a very defined amount. It's a number, it's data, it's math, and it's just a sequence. One, then you take the next, then you take the next. And that's kind of where the puzzle came in. At the end of our call, Dana mentioned something about a 1,000-piece puzzle. And we both started laughing because it was the perfect metaphor. Over the holidays, my kids and I had done a couple puzzles together. I love puzzles. We get the table out, we dump the box out, we turn the fireplace on. And do you guys do those cozy YouTube fireplace scenes with the crackling fire and the coffee cup that's steaming? And sometimes our favorites are like the little kitten on the couch or a butterfly if it's outside. Have you guys seen those? My favorite, our favorite, because we went to New York this last year, was a New York skyline. And then there's always something really pretty. And over the holidays, my parents were all in town, and it was so funny because we would look at these. We would all just be sitting there staring at these, and they're made by AI. So there's some odd things about some of them. And we were just looking at different ones because they hadn't seen them before. But it's just so fun. So I like putting one of those on TV. If you're by yourself, you can turn music on or a book on tape or a podcast. And it's just kind of magical. You're sitting there and you're slowly working through the puzzle. It's calming. It's satisfying. You're not stressed. No one is saying like, oh my gosh, this is too many pieces. You expect that it's going to take time and you expect it to be a process and you enjoy it. So let's just think through how it relates to organizing, how doing a puzzle relates. And when you do a puzzle, the first thing you do is dump all the pieces out. And you don't start deciding where each one goes. You don't analyze them. You don't try to build anything yet. I just dump them out and then I sort. And usually I tend to sort fast. I tend to sort very focused. I'm not trying to make decisions. I'm just putting all the edge pieces in one pile and the non-edge pieces in another pile. I'm not deciding. I'm just making piles. And that's why I really encourage people to sort first. When they're organizing, begin by sorting because you don't have to make decisions. It doesn't get hard. You just look and say, is this an edge piece or is this a middle piece? And you just separate them out. And then when you're doing a puzzle, the second thing I tend to do is a little mini sort. I get all the edge pieces together and then I kind of sort probably by color. Maybe I try to find the corner pieces, but I usually sort by color then so I can start putting them together. So maybe there's a sky in the puzzle or there's lots of dark colors in one area. So I would sort into the color next and then I would start putting them together. And you get the edge done and you're like, oh, this feels so good. I have this framework. And then you do a sort again with the middle pieces. And we usually tend to pull certain colors out and try to work on it. Or if we're looking at the picture and we see an object, we might try to pull the things out. Then you notice some things like this last puzzle we did, there were birds. And so we would find little beaks or eyes or wings, and we would kind of put the wings and bird pictures in a pile by themselves and come back to that when we notice we need a part of a bird. Different little techniques that you use while doing a puzzle. Same thing with organizing. You sort. You pull out all the things that you want to work on that are related to the same topic. Maybe that's books. Maybe it's jeans. Maybe you have a big pile of clothes that you're sorting into categories. You just sort first, and then you can start making decisions. What am I keeping? What am I letting go of? What do I need to try on? And then you move into, where does this fit? Where does it fit into my closet? Where does it fit in this container that's my home? Where is it going to fit? How does it fit in? Where am I going to use it? And you ask those types of questions. And with organizing, you go through the steps, you sort, and then you purge and make decisions. Whatever you're keeping, you're assigning homes to, and you're containing. And you're energized by what you're creating, and you're maintaining that organization so that you can maintain that energy and use that in your life instead of moving things around. Now with a puzzle, things are starting to fit together. The edge pieces are fitting. You're seeing where it fits. In a puzzle, if a piece doesn't fit, it's not bad. It just doesn't belong there. Maybe it doesn't even belong in this puzzle. Maybe you got things mixed up and it's in another puzzle. And that is an important question in organizing. Does this fit into the life I'm living right now? Not the life I might have someday, but the life I want to live right now. Not the one that might work if I have nothing else to do that I might need one day if I move into a different house. No. Does it fit into my life right now? That's such an important question. And the reason that came up is because of what we do when we're working on a puzzle. We constantly look at the picture on the puzzle, the picture on the cover. The ones we did over the holidays had posters inside of them. And so we had a cover to look at, like the box top, and we had a poster. And we were constantly looking at that picture, looking at the end result. And with organizing, it's so important to know where you're going. And I've talked about this so much within my groups, but probably here on the podcast as well. Hopefully you've heard me say it before. Where are we going? What is the destination that we're putting in our GPS? What are we doing? What are we actually using? What are we feeling when we are in there? And I like to have people do that exercise before they even start. Like walk into your house or imagine yourself walking into your house, and what does it feel like? Do you have little pieces of furniture sitting around? One client just told me, I put a little piece of furniture, like it might be a desk, a little stand, and we often buy these things to be organized, and then they end up having all the surfaces piled with stuff, because where there's a surface, we're going to pile stuff. So maybe you envision yourself walking into your home and having it be clean and clear with no little stands that things can pile up on. Maybe you envision yourself creating photo books, but not doing all these other craft projects. Maybe you just want to focus on photo books and organizing your photos, and you don't need all the other crafts, and you can actually let those things go. Or how does these things fit into the life I'm building? So the more clear you are about what you want to be doing, the easier it is for you to be making decisions about your stuff. Same with the puzzle. The more you look at the cover, the easier it's going to be for you to figure out where things belong. And you're constantly comparing them and seeing, oh, this is that building over there, not this one down here that I thought it was. This belongs over there. And that's why organizing might not feel so good as a puzzle. Because when you do a puzzle, you're constantly looking at that picture. You're pulling the box out and the poster and you're studying where things go. But when you organize, you don't have a picture. So the more you create that destination, that vision, that emotional pull toward the result that you want, the easier it's going to be to organize, to make decisions, to decide where things are going to live, to contain them. So your homework is to decide what your picture is. What do you want your closet to look like? What do you want your home to feel like when you walk into it? What do you want it to be easy to do in that space? If you have children, you want it to be easy for them to play in this space. What does that mean? How does it look? Picture it, describe it, feel it in your body. Then when you have an item that you're making a decision on, you can ask, does it fit the picture? Just like you do with a puzzle. So then when you think about organizing, what if you thought about it like a practice, like a journey that you're on when you're doing a puzzle? What if it didn't have to be stressful? What makes it stressful? Ask yourself that question. What makes this stressful? Why can I not relax? Think about it like I'm doing a puzzle. And you know what was so cool? At the end of that conversation with my client, Dana, at the end, she was actually super excited to go work on her puzzle of organizing her closet. Would that work for you? Can you imagine that? You just didn't realize you were building a masterpiece, a beautiful picture on a puzzle. And that's what you're doing with your whole life. When you're organizing your home, your office, your business, you're creating a beautiful picture, the end result. So how can you use this kind of visual example in your life today? Is it that you need to first neutralize how many pieces, how much stuff you think you're organizing, and just put a number on it and imagine it like a puzzle? Is it that you haven't sorted? One of my clients, when I said you sort first, she was sorting into donate, keep, or sell piles or trash. Don't sort into those categories because that's making decisions. That's the hard part. Sort into edge, non-edge, those kinds of piles. Just what is this? What pile does it go into? Like with like, and then you move on to making decisions. Okay, I hope this puzzle analogy was really clear. I hope it's helpful. Do you need to neutralize? Do you need to sort? Do you need to work more on seeing the clear vision of your end result? And how do you make it fun? Turn on some music. Turn on your favorite audiobook or podcast. Turn on the fireplace, whatever it is. Do it with a friend. Whatever it is, make it fun, make it enjoyable, and think of it like this beautiful masterpiece you're creating, which is your life. Wait, if you're finding this podcast useful, you must check out the Organized Coach Academy. It's my course where I walk you through every step to get your business organized, to get yourself organized, to save money and time, to prepare to hire someone, to do all the things that you want to do in your business with ease. Check that out at simplysquaredaway.com/OCA. Also, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but I would love it. It's my way of knowing that you're enjoying the podcast if you leave a written review. I have lots of freebies for you. They're linked in the show notes. You can find them in my bio on Instagram at Tracy Hoth. And until next week, have a beautiful day.